All right, guys, I'm here with Matty Moonshine today, talking about producing music and starting from the ground up and some advice. So he's helped me out before, teaching me about how music is produced and stuff like that. So first of all, why don't you just introduce yourself, give a little background on where you're from and how you started, and we'll just go from there.
Hold on.
All
Oh, we're
right.
good. I'm good. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
All right, dude. My computer just went.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
All right, so I'm Matty Moonshine. I'm 25. I'm from Ridley, PA, which is Delaware County, if you don't know. Um, I've been making beats, instrumentals, whatever you want to call it right now, for about, I'd say 6 years. I'd say I've been doing it serious for about like 3 or 4 though, because you can always do it as like a hobby.
Right.
Could actually, do it as like I want this to be my job.
Hmm. Totally. Yeah. So from where you are now to where you started, if we go back to where you began, um, you know, you, I see, pictures of you all the time, working in a studio or working here or there. I'm sure you started just working at your house, right? Just making.
Yeah, so what happened was I I bought this thing. It was called FL Studio,
Mhm.
and it's what I make my beats on. And me and my one friend Donnie, we just started just making them, and they were awful at the time, but we thought they were hot, you
Yeah.
know. So, and it was kind of good. Like a lot of people that are starting out, they don't have the support from friends or like other people that have the same interests. So it's so easy to let it fade away. So
Right.
me and my boy Donnie, we would just make beats all the time, and then we would both get better. So like we just kept going, and then he eventually stopped, but I ended up finding people that, with the same interest, and got myself in the right atmosphere so I wouldn't stop.
Right. Yeah. So
So,
what do you think is incomparable from your beginning music, which you said wasn't good, to now? What do you think is that comparison? Or like, what makes it better? Like, what about the music um, do you think is better?
you learn every day. Even like now, I'm still learning stuff. So basically, when you're first off starting, unless you have like, I didn't have any music background. Like I didn't play the piano. I knew drum rhythms, but I didn't know like, BPM, which is beats per minute. Um, I didn't play like basically any instruments. I mean, I played like the flute way back when I was like a little kid, but that doesn't even count. But yeah, like you basically every day you learn something new, and if you don't, you gotta try and force yourself to learn something new because there's so many people in the music industry. So you're basically what I tell people too is it's not a competition, but it
Mhm.
is like what makes someone want to listen to your stuff over like Drake?
Right. Yeah. I also feel like from someone else who also, like, I write and all that stuff. I always feel like you just want to stay ahead of the industry. Like, you want to innovate. So you're kind of competing with yourself. If you agree, I don't know if you.
Yeah, you it's definitely a competition with yourself because you're always battling like yourself and what you're thinking. Like you're your biggest critic, and
Mhm.
you'll see other people doing things, and you're like, damn, why am I not doing them things? If I'm better than them, like you start comparing, and that just puts you down like a bad hole that you don't want to get into because
Mhm.
that literally makes people stop and like get all depressed about it.
Yeah.
I was there a few times, but I always bounced back somehow. Something always happened, so I was like, it just made me feel better again, and then I just kept going.
Right. Yeah. So okay. So you kind of are now realizing you're getting better, and you're still producing at home though. Um, Talk about some challenges, and you kind of went into what you used, but can you talk about, if you're doing it at home, what you did and from home?
So it's crazy because I made some of my biggest songs like at home,
Hmm.
or literally with just a laptop in front of me. Like you don't need a whole studio. You don't need. All you literally need is the program and headphones.
Right. Yeah.
Like I made one of my biggest songs down the beach on a balcony. All I had was headphones, and then I just made the beat real quick, didn't think anything of it, and then, sent it off.
Mhm.
But what I have in my house, I have two Rode speakers, which are like the ones you see in studios. I have a piano, a MIDI controller, which it has it has pads and stuff on it where you click it and they make sounds. I got microphones, I got the headphones. So like basically I got a little makeshift studio in my
Right.
basement, which if I'm ever like locked in. But another thing too is you always want to change sceneries when you're making beats or music, in my opinion,
Mhm.
solely because if you're in the same spot all the time, like you might lose creativity or, because like it's weird because sometimes I can't make a beat in my basement, but then I go to my bedroom and I make one. So
Right. Yeah.
it's bizarre how that works, but
Yeah.
it actually, it's actually a thing.
Yeah. So okay, so now you're getting started and you're clearly, you're working with people now and you're starting to collaborate. What do you feel is now that you're working with people is your process and what is your general process? Are you just making beats or do you get asked to make beats or is it a mix of both or
Yeah, I would say it's a mix of both. So what I do now is I have a lot of friends that um make beats too. So the thing is, they'll either send me like a melody. So they'll have like for instance, my one friend plays the trombone and the piano and the guitar. So he sends me riffs of those instruments, and then I'll just throw drums on them. And that I could do that from my basement. I don't have to be with him because he's out in California right now, and I'm in Philly. So that's it. But for some people do ask me to make stuff. Sometimes it's not specific stuff. Sometimes like, yo, can you send some through? And then that's when I go in my folder and see which ones I got. And then I send them through, which I did make 194 since January 1st.
wow.
It's crazy. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've been overdrive this year.
Yeah. So
So
so after you kind of making working with these people, would you say that collaboration is something that has expanded your ability to work and your ability to do better things? Like working
yeah,
with
I would definitely say collaboration's key because anytime you work with somebody different, you always learn something that they do. So it's just, I mean, like a perfect example is, I guess, school. Like you go to a school and then you go to a different class and you learn something new. It's basically that with music because you'll have me who produces all up tempo stuff, and then go in a room with somebody that produces all down tempo stuff that's like R&B, and then I learn some tricks and from that person, and then I implement it
Mhm.
into my like production, and then that makes me better at what I do. So I definitely think collaboration's huge as a producer. You need to make songs to collaborate anyway with like artists, but
Mhm.
like producer, you got to collab with fellow producers because that'll just only make you better.
Right. What do you think was the biggest challenge starting off? So without all this stuff that you have now and all the people you have now, in the very beginning, what was the biggest challenge you think you had?
Um, there's a few big challenges that you get in the beginning. First, you're really vulnerable in the beginning. You're scared to see what people are gonna say.
Hmm.
Like not. I mean, if you don't have it, that's a good thing. But like, you don't want somebody to be like, "Dude, that sucks. You just gotta quit." Because then it's like, "Damn, you
Right.
worked hard, and that was that." Another thing is to keep going. Like, I was lucky that one of my friends made some from when I started, but I know people that who weren't as lucky as me, and they probably stopped. Or I know people that just kept going. But the thing is, like, having somebody that motivates you or that you can do it with is a lot better than doing it by yourself all the time. Because like if you do it with a group or your friend, like when you reach a goal, like you can go and get excited with that person.
Hmm.
Like you can
Yeah.
still tell that to like family, friends, etc. But I mean, it's different from when you do it with somebody that actually has the same interest and cares about it as much as you.
Yeah.
So, and then another big thing is getting artists to actually rap on your beats. Like mine wasn't so hard in the beginning, but a lot of people have these big egos. So they'll be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna send anything to him. They gotta reach out to me, because I'm like the man." And this guy never probably produced anything for anyone before. He
Mm.
might be good, but like you gotta like I don't know, you gotta be humble and just take what you can get. Like I started out all Delaware County. Like that's who I'd make beats for.
Yeah.
And then me as a person, I know like I'm trying to get out of Delaware County, trying to get worldwide. So that's when you gotta start reaching out to people that from the city of Philadelphia or Los Angeles, which I have some people with, Texas, New York. So, but I first I got the most songs with my one boy. His name's Ish Williams. He's from Jersey. He started before me. Like I wasn't a part of his first process, but like I got introduced to him and I started sending him stuff, and then we've been working for like 3 or 4 years now.
Hmm.
And then he's got some friends that I send stuff to. Like they got you had another goal too that you should, well, not a goal, but like I would say a starting point for someone
Yeah.
is you always want to try and get to the little guy before you get to the big guy. Because if you're out there thinking you can shoot for the stars all you want, but you also have to see like who that person's around. So like if I wanted to say send beats to maybe like Post Malone, right?
Hmm.
I'll Let's just say Post Malone has a friend that's not as big as him that you can actually talk to. Then you want to send as many beats and get as many songs with that guy as possible. So maybe Post will hear that song one day and be like, wow, that's a good song. I should reach out. Or maybe he'll hop on a song and then like the song, and then you'll keep working. So like you can't always aim for the top, because the top in music is really hard, because you're one fish in an ocean, you
Right. So
know.
build your way up, you're saying?
That's what I did. But I know some people that really got lucky and got to I guess the top guy with just luck.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah.
because if you send stuff to someone, you gotta hope they open the email. Then you gotta hope that they listen to the whole thing, and then you gotta hope that they don't get somebody to remake it. Because I know one of my boys that's really talented. His beat got remade, and it was supposed to be on like a Lil Uzi Vert album, but the
Yeah.
beat got remade into something, so he didn't even get credit, and it was his like original, which is crazy. But
Right. Yeah. So if when you're working in the industry and with people, you know, that's a good, starting point for a conversation on like credit and, on a collaborative piece. How do you find your own voice? You recently you just worked on a lot of collaborative work, and so how do you find your own voice? And or is it your own voice? Is it really one voice as a group? What do you think?
so it depends. Like I'm in a group. We're called 7 Minutes to LA. We all have major, like I would say major pros that the others don't.
Hmm.
So like there's a lot of aspects of a beat. You gotta layer it. You gotta make sure everything sounds good. You gotta put the sounds in the right spot. So everyone I work with has like a specialty of one thing, and then it depends too, because it depends what you want to do with the beat. Like you can send beats off, but you don't have control of anything.
Hmm.
Like I have so many songs that are just sitting right now, and if they never get released, then that never helps me out. I don't have control of that. It's just
Right.
all on the artist. But with my group that we do, we are the ones in control of the songs. So my one guy, he's really good at marketing, so he'll make all the graphics and all the stuff for that. And the other guy's really good with like DJing, so he'll do that. And
Hmm.
then I'm like out of the group, I'm just the beat maker, for being honest. Like I'll just sit there and make all the beats. Like I don't do much of like the rollouts, because rollouts are big with music.
Hmm.
Like, but then I also stick to myself, because I want my own name. I don't, you can't just keep all your balls in one basket.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So you when you're working with now on your own and you're doing your own work, um, what do you think is your your individual process now for going in technically wise, like in when you make a beat from scratch? What do you usually what's your thought process?
So I usually don't go in thinking anything. So it's crazy because if I don't have anything I like in the first 15 minutes, I stop for the day.
Hmm.
Maybe not for the day. Maybe like I'll come back later because you can't force it. But if I come off firing or something I like, so basically you got to make a melody, and or you can be blessed. Like I'm blessed a lot. A lot of people I know just make melodies and
Mm.
send them to me all the time because I got them placements. Like I'll get them placements with big artists that they probably couldn't have got on their own, or they could have got on their own, but I just know the guy personally, so it worked like that. Um, Not taking away from anything that those guys did because they can get the placements themselves too.
Yeah.
Need me, but it's just better working with somebody, because it gives you like another option to be able to move the beat to like shop it to somebody else. But when I sit down, like what did I do today? Sat down. My one friend sent me all these crazy guitar loops, and you literally just I load it up. I sit there, and then it's crazy. Usually, you'll have the drums in your head before they're on there, and my mind's too quick, and my hands aren't fast enough.
Hmm.
So like I'll be having the whole beat done in my head, but like I don't have it out yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, it all gets there. It takes like if you're making everything, it could take up forever,
Hmm.
like hours. But if you're only doing portions of it, like a collaboration, then it shouldn't take too long. I usually the one that mix and masters the whole thing because I have a clean sound,
Hmm.
and you need everything to sound like it could be on the radio. Like you don't want to send a muffled version to somebody
Right.
because then it won't, probably reach its full potential. Because if you hear a song on the radio, like they have engineers and stuff that have been doing that forever and that are one of the probably like Drake's guys are like the top guys in the world that do it, that make sure everything sounds right.
Hmm.
So when you're working on it, you got to make sure you can get the best possible sound and everything to hit hard and everything sound clear so you'll have an opportunity. Or if you don't, then it's a beat wasted, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think? You talked a lot about, um, people kind of repaying each other and this community. What is your biggest advice for not just so much getting in? It can be also getting into the community, but also then living in this community and kind of functioning with other artists.
So it's hard to get in because a lot of people want to see you do well, but they don't want to see you do better than them.
Hmm.
And that is a lot of people. Like usually if somebody does you a favor, they're like looking for something back. So you have to bob and weave people in and out because you get to see what their intentions are after you've done something with them. Um, for to stay in it, like you just gotta stay consistent. I mean, a lot of people do this, and a lot of people are temporary. Like somebody's always gonna outwork you, and
Hmm.
someone's always more talented than you, but you can, work hard and learn to get to where you want to get to. Like I'm definitely not where I want to get to. I
Hmm.
want to get a song on the Billboard charts and have a
Right.
plaque on my wall that like is accomplishments. But if somebody just wants, to produce a few songs that maybe he want to just produce one song on the radio that was just a local song, then he reached his goal. Like everyone's goals are different. So that's a big thing too. Um Also to stay in it's just honestly definitely consistency. It's hard to get in though, but once you're in, you don't really get taken out because they all know who you are. So you can
Right.
just pop up and then, oh yeah, I like that. I like his work, so I'm just gonna peep his email or do something. So
Right. So now, what do you think is the biggest challenge in getting your work out to people, getting your music out to people?
yeah, that's so musically coming from an artist standpoint. You just have to have good music. Good music will catch somebody's ear. So, for instance, like there's always ways to get your song exposed. Like there's Spotify playlists, Apple Music playlists, SoundCloud. You could make like flyers for it and put it around your neighborhood. Like there's ways to market your song so people will hear it, but beat wise, there's some times where you're literally stuck. Like, for instance, I have a good list of people that I can send stuff to all the time, but there's always more that I want to send stuff to that I just can't. And the reason is because I put this perfectly. I was describing this to somebody before.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, would you rather wear a T-shirt from your friend or from some random person on the internet?
Right. Yeah.
So the relationship is key because I'll send some beats to some of these guys that definitely aren't the best beats, and they'll use them. But then I'll send my best beats to a bigger artist and they never even answer if they liked it, if they listened or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's basically, you got to have good relationships with people. And like I've sent stuff to emails that I don't even know if they've ever listened, but the beats they were definitely some of my best ones that
Yeah.
I could see them on too. Like I could hear them rapping on it, but they just got to open the email. But if they would have known my name, they probably would have opened it, So
Yeah.
like, or just to use it. I don't know. It's a tricky situation there.
Yeah. All right. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to do this with every single person that I talk to on my podcast. Is I like to do a game, rapid fire questions. So basically, just answer these questions. We have a 2-minute timer, and you just have to answer them about yourself. Just to get to know you, get your a little background on you. Some of these are fun. So let me just start the timer, and you're gonna answer them starting now. All right. If you could buy any type of food, what would it be right now?
Any kind of food?
Yeah.
Probably cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak. Okay. Um, if you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
Dang. That's tough. I'm gonna say turtle because I have one.
Turtle, because you have one. Okay.
Turtle.
Who do you admire the most? What artist do you admire the most?
Mac Miller, rest in
Okay.
peace.
Yeah.
That has
So
been since a long time.
yeah, I love Mac Miller. All right. What is your favorite summer activity?
Beach, definitely going to the beach.
What is one thing that annoys you the most?
Hmm.
You can skip if you need to. We have
Yeah, let's skip that.
All
Let's
right.
skip that for now.
What would you do on Mars for fun?
I don't know. Probably the same thing I would do now. Make beats.
Yeah.
Quarantine life.
If you had $1 million, what would you spend it on? What kind of things?
I'd probably buy my mom a house, buy a
Yeah.
beach house, and then I think that's probably it because I don't think
Yeah.
I'd have any money left.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool do you think you are?
I'm an average Joe, so I'd say 5.
um, what store do you shop in at the most?
Neiman Marcus. It's
What
like
new what new technology will transform the future?
probably floating cars.
What is your favorite beverage?
Iced tea.
Iced tea. All right, we are at 5 seconds. I don't. No, yeah, that's it right there. All right, so cool. So real quick, on a conversation about Mac Miller, I was just listening to his. I loved a lot of his music before, but
Mm-hmm.
what is your reaction? What are your thoughts about his the newest album that came out, or that album?
It was good. You could see where he was going with it, because Mac always wanted to grow as an artist.
Yeah,
Like
totally. Yeah,
when he was starting out, he had like the college rap, to get all the kids going, and then he literally grew as a person and like
Mhm.
played his instruments. Like there's this one song on his mixtape Faces that I want to sample, but I think he actually played it because
Mhm.
I know Mac played some instruments. I think it was like a guitar riff that he played.
Right.
I was trying to find because a lot of people use samples, and then you can just find that and you recreate yourself. But he always tried going. And his last project was supposed to be a spin-off of I think it was what, swimming.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the continuation of swimming. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I always thought that latest album, Circles, right? Yeah, it was like it was totally different. It was like chill to me. Like it felt very
yeah. He definitely didn't care what people thought, but he did. I don't know.
yeah,
I remember I watched a lot of interviews on Mac. Like he would say he would wake up and the first thing he would see this morning would be like, "Wow, Mac, you're awesome," or "Wow, Mac, you suck."
yeah,
Like he would just open his eyes and go on Twitter and like see instantly. So I think that definitely hurt him a little bit. Like
for sure. Yeah.
for like not him as a person, but like with the choices he made because he obviously wasn't sober.
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah, I definitely. Who do you think? I mean, if it's him, it's him. But is there any other artists that you think influenced your current work?
yeah, so there's it's crazy because his name's all in the media right now, and it's for bad things.
Hmm.
There was a producer named Young Chop. I have a lot. So Young Chop was one. He had this. He was from Chicago.
Right.
He made the sound. It's called drill music. It's like it's real dark. It's like basically. I'm trying to figure out how I can explain it to somebody who doesn't even listen to rap. So it's like horror music.
Hmm.
So like the instrumentals are all horror. Like there's gunshots
Right.
and like screams, and that's what I like that kind of music. So I started. That's why I wanted to do it. So I was like, all right, I liked how this was, so
Yeah.
that's when I started.
Right.
Um, More recently, he's Metro Boomin. He's like he did the whole Weekend's last album that just dropped. He
Yeah.
produced like the whole thing.
Oh, really?
He's real,
Wow.
yeah, he's really good. He's like my idol that's alive. My other idol's Mac. But yeah, Metro kept me going. Like I wanted to be Metro. And it's
Right.
funny because he's only like, a few months older than me.
Oh, really? Wow. So
Yeah, and
that's a good point. So where do you see you're on a really great path in terms of working with more people and getting your music out there. Where do you I mean, you kind of talked about this, wanting to be recognized for it, but where do you want to be at the end? Like maybe go like a little more detail where what you want people to remember
yes.
you as.
So, well, I definitely want to be remembered, and it doesn't. I don't know if I'll be remembered now. Like I assume I will be. Like not saying I'm some big shot, but like I'll be known around here for doing this.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I think I want to do maybe definitely worldwide. Like my goals, I want plaques on the wall. I want songs on Billboard. I want to make good music. I want to have like a house on the beach where I can just look at the ocean and then make beats.
Right.
Um, I definitely want to work with specific artists, which will be hard because I got to get to the point where then I can actually, reach out to
Right, yeah.
them. But yeah, I definitely have goals, and I tell myself every year I'm going to get to that goal, but it's a long shot usually. You just got
Yeah.
to get lucky once you get that, because a lot of people tell you you're going to have that lucky break, and it's going to be with something you didn't even think of happening. Like the
Yeah.
least expected person is going to end up breaking out with a hit song that you did, and
Right.
the rest is history.
Yeah. So, before we close out here, let's talk a little about your recent work. So, what's your most recent song and music that you just came out with?
Um, would it, as a group or as a
Well, I
myself?
know you did Blue, right, recently.
Yeah, that was we sampled Blue from Eiffel 65.
Mhm.
We had Jizzle Raw and Caesar from Forever Hop on it. They're both dope. So if
Yeah.
anyone's listening, you could definitely check them out. And this kid Rob did the vocals. He did like a melody. He
Hmm.
just did this humming melody throughout the song, which was dope. Which was a good fit for it.
Right.
Um, that dropped. We had a whole rollout. We had animations. Um, we did another song before as a group,
And this was
2002.
this was with 7 Minutes to LA, right?
Yeah. So we did another one, which I'll show you this. I know people aren't going to be able to see it, but
Yeah.
we got a poster that
Oh
has
wow.
like the artwork. So the theme is 2002 because it was a Cameron song, and Cameron's like an older rapper. I don't even really listen to him either, so you definitely don't know who he is.
Yeah.
He's from New York, and it was like an older song that we flipped, and it was a song from 2002. So we named 2002, had the sample flip, and then the craziest thing was he had a concert in Philly,
Mm.
I think like 2 months ago, that we actually one of the guys that are in the song performed at, and they performed the song, and that dude, the guy who had the original, was like, "Yo, that's a dope ass song."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Yeah, thanks. Like, if you want to hop on it, let us know." What'd
That's awesome. Wow. So, what about now? Without instead of the group, what work are you doing right now?
you say? Did you say?
Outside of the group, outside the group, on your own.
Um, I've been working on a lot of stuff, man. So I basically have almost 200 beats, and I don't have homes for them. So I've been literally just shopping beats to people. So I got 5 songs coming up with this guy. His name's Zach Downtown. He's got like 100,000 followers on Instagram. He does pretty good numbers. He's from New York. Cool guy. I got I think 9 or 10 songs with a dude that sings Jordan Belfort, Wes Walker. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my close boys. I'm in the studio a lot with him. Well, not right now because I can't go out the house, but
Yeah.
um, I'm trying to get some stuff with Sammy Adams. He's pretty big. He's from Boston. He had some of the songs. He was a lot of his music was a lot of college stuff. I got a lot of stuff coming with like Philly artists named Drama, B2R, Rico Havoc. Um, Trying to get some stuff with Core.
That's
Just
awesome.
a bunch of just keep my name out there.
Yeah, totally. So, okay, so where can people find your music?
um you can go on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Google Play, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Just type in Matty Moonshine, you'll be able to find some songs from me, my boy Ish, because he's real one and put my name on the songs too.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you can literally just Google Matty Moonshine, you'll be able to find my whole catalog of like my most popular songs,
Yeah.
which I do have a lot more coming that I didn't even say, but
Yeah.
you know,
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for being on and talking about music, and hopefully people take good advice and your good advice and making new music.
yeah, man, thanks for
Yeah.
having me on.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.